headed to Maya Center. There's a healer there. She is one of the Garcia sisters. It is right near the Coscombe Jaguar Reserve. I've already passed City Village. I have to go over a bridge. And once you get over the bridge, there's the entrance into the Maya Center. And she is on the back road. To Maya Center. It's Maya Center Village. He's a sweetie, a sweet baby. I made it, and it is here.
I am Aurora Garcia Saqui. Garcia when I was a young girl, and then Saqui after I got married. I tell my children that how when I was a little girl I was Mesh. We adopted my mother's name. Because when at that time in Belize, there's no divorces, and my mother was living with a person that has already gotten married, which is my father. My father had a wife before, but he couldn't get divorced because we didn't have any divorce system in Belize until after the independence. Recently, about a year ago, then you can file divorces in Belize. It's interesting, you know why? Because at that time, even if my father wanted to give us his name, we could not inherit because of the law. You have to carry your mother's name. So I was Mesh. When I was a little girl at school, I say Aurora Mesh, and we didn't like it. So after independence, we tell my father we want to, to have his name. So he had to go to Belize City several times, get a lawyer, and then he changed our name to Garcia. And that is how we became Garcia. And now when I got married, I had to still change again, which is Saqui. Tell myself I would have just carried on with Mesh, which is beautiful, But now everybody's okay, because now even if it's common law, they can still carry their father's name. I feel that with a child like me, I would want to carry my father's name more than my mother's name. I felt good because then I felt that I had a father that it's like somebody that protects you stronger. So and then if I carry my mother's name, it doesn't mean anything. I didn't feel like I was less, but then I also felt that I felt more better if I carry my father's name. If you're married, that means whatever you have together, it's half-half. But in my mother's case, because they could not get married for the whole time, they were living their own life. They started from, scratch. Then my father never owned anything, and that is what made us a little stronger women, because you can know that you have value. My father, he says, I am afraid one day I will die, and suddenly death. Then my other wife can come and claim for some of our work, and he has nothing to do with this. So that he can assure everything that nobody can claim from my mother. He made sure everything is in my mother's name. Land, yes, land, vehicles, cattle. He has a lot of livestock. Everything is in my mother's name, and that made us very strong women, because whatever little money he does, he always make my mother handles the money. My father was a chiclero, so he never spent time at home. He spends most of the time in the jungle. So one of those days, he says that when he came, his wife has sold everything, the farm, cattle, everything. Wow. The children, he give it away for his sisters, my father's sisters. So she only kept this smaller one, and she went away with another man, which is my, imagine, my father's brother. But then my father said maybe my father's brother knew something too, because he had 5 wives in one house. When he decided to stay with the only one, then he went away, far away, like he went all the way north of Belize. He left everybody, and then he went to live in the northern part of Belize. All of us is married except the elder one.
Oh, the elder.
Yes, the elder one, because my mother, I guess because of the experience that she had with my father.
I get it.
She usually tells us that all men are bad. Never get married, she said. I wish you would all stay with me. That time of my, when I was growing up as a teenager or as a young girl, usually if you get married, like to a Mayan or a tribe, they are usually like very
possessive.
Yes. And even though you have opportunities, like you want to be maybe a leader, maybe something else, you want to attend meetings and so on.
They don't want you to do that.
You have to ask permission first, and if they say yes, then you will go. If not, then you can go. If you want to travel, the same thing. If you have opportunities to travel, you can do that, because if he don't go with you, that means you don't go at all. Yes, so that is very controlling. So you either have to put up with it, or you just live without it. So my sister decided to live without it. She said, I am happy the way I am. I can decide what I want to do on my own. I don't have to bear to nobody's plan, rule, and so on. She's now about 60, maybe 63. She accomplished more than all of us, I feel, because she just do whatever doing the way she wants it, and she achieves a lot of things. So far, she have worked very hard, to convince the government that we should lay aside a big portion, 12,000 acres of land for the preservation of the medicinal plants, because we can run out of it if we don't preserve it, because it's getting too much, like they over harvest it too much, that we are running out of it. To preserve it, then she made sure that she'd laid aside the acres of land. So she's the one managing that area. It's under my uncle's name.
So do they treat her any differently since she's married? Not married?
Yes, with a lot of respect.
Oh, I heard that. Come on.
My story, that after I got married, I felt a lot of pressure, like he wanted to control me a lot. He wanted to decide what I want to do in my life, but I was slowly building my own ideas and my own, my own dreams. He didn't even thought about it. He don't know about it, and then I didn't even want to share about it, because I know he will not, understand it. Maybe he will not say yes. He just kept doing what he has to do, and I kept doing what I have to do. And then at the end now, if he saw everything like molded already, and then he said, I never knew this was your idea, Then he said, I'm glad we did it. First thing I tell him when I came to my center to live, because my village is about 3 hours away.
San Antonio?
Yes, San Antonio.
I love San Antonio. That's where the sister.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
So it's a little, it's a beautiful village. So when I came here, I was married. I had my little money, because we put up my little money, and then I said, I want to invest my money because I see a lot of opportunities here. And first question I asked him, can we get a little piece of land where we can do our own, I want to be in my own, I tell him. I don't want to live out, because living with his family is good, but I was I was thinking about my future, the future of my children, you know. So I tell him I want a space of my own. I want to build, you know, a little, you know, house there to start with. And I tell him, the first thing I tell him, you know what, I will not invest in my center if nothing is in my name.
Oh! Ooh! Miss Aurora is smart.
Yes, I have to make sure because then you never know.
You never know.
Yes.
You never know.
So he said, of course, he said, we can get a little piece of land.
It's beautiful, Miss Aurora. That's a beautiful story.
I feel that today everything is changed. My time when I was a little girl, my father usually, you know, grows a little different from other real Mayan, you know, like families. Because he always make us sure, you know, think that we are strong and that we can do anything that a man can do. That's what my father tried to implant.
Come on, Papa.
Uh-huh.
You teach his girls. See, and look, the Garcia sisters. My goal was to live in Belize, but the honest truth of it, that has really been real for me, I'll always be a foreigner. No matter what piece of paper I get, no matter how much I love Belize, no matter how much the nice people, you know, you're still a foreigner. You're still American.
I guess it's only in the mind.
Uh-oh.
Because, because you know that you look like a Belizean. First of all, to begin with.
Really?
So you can feel at home here too. The same way you can feel at home in the US, you can feel at home here too. You don't. It doesn't matter about the paper. It's like in the ancient times when our ancestors were here. You know that we didn't have any borders or boundaries. So we just live by living. You know, if you go to Guatemala, there was no Guatemala at that time. It's only a big piece of chunk of land, and whole Central America and South America. But when the people came now with all their laws, regulation, and so on, they subdivided their own. Oh, this is for me. This is Guatemala. This is Belize. This is the different countries. And now for us to visit another Mayan land, we have to have our papers. We have to pay. We have to do this. We have to do that. And I tell myself, why so much land? Before even the conquistadors came with all their laws and regulation, it was only a big piece of land.
That's right.
There was no rule, no regulation, no borders, no nothing.
That's right.
You know, so I feel that more and more we have to start to feel like that. You know, like when I go to Mexico, I said to myself, I said it one day, I said, I am going to go and visit the Mayan temples that my ancestors did. But I am not going to pay any cent or anything. You know why? Because that is for us. Why will I pay and then go and visit what they have left for us? It is like an insult for ourselves. So you know, one day when I went, I met some locals and they said, you don't have to pay, we go through the back. And we hiked through the back. We didn't pay any copper. And my husband said, I wonder, you know, you are crazy. I tell him, no, because this is how we work. This is one place, one community, one people. Why will we have to pay? Yes. I didn't go like a tourist. I gone with like a local. It worked.
That's right.
It worked. So I believe in those. I feel that I wish that time can come up again. I feel that maybe it's almost impossible, but you never know what can happen.
That's true. Because you're right, all these borders and
it's
all money.
It's all money.
No, it's money.
Yeah, because then I feel that when I go to Mexico, I feel like Mexican. And when I go to Guatemala, I feel like a Guatemalan. Because I am one people like them.
Yes.
We don't have any difference.
Yes.
So I don't have to have a paper to prove it. That's how we have to see the world.
We have to see the
world. We belong to this world. And the world is for everybody. And we shouldn't look at it with borders. We should look at it like one people. Yeah, that's how I see it. More and more, you know, we have to think like that.
That's a word.
I work with plants, and I work with a little over 150 species of plants. My teacher, which is my uncle, I feel that he works with over 200 species of plants, if not more. There are plants that is easy to learn because we can find it in the yard and around the place. But there are others that you have to go farther into the jungle to get it. Yes. So he didn't have the energy because at the time when I was learning from him, he was a little over 90 years when I was learning. So he only walks 2 miles from the village to the outskirts of the village. to collect some of his plants that he will use for the day. So he would walk 2 hours, and then when he comes back with him, we have a lot of people waiting for him. We have people from all over that comes to see him and to seek his help. So he only treats them with a lot of plants. Yes, so I have learned from him for 8 years. And at the time of his death, he was known as one of the best healers in Belize and Central America. Yes, and so when we usually go to the jungle, I am his late niece, his grandniece. So he sees me as a daughter, you know. He calls me a daughter. So when we usually go to the mountains, he says, Aurora, he said, you're going to take it over whenever I die. I didn't believe that. I tell him, Uncle, but I will be too busy with my artwork. At that time, we were doing the slate carvings. You see the slate carvings there? We were the first ones who started it in Belize. The ones in this side here. In Belize, we did this, and then we became very famous for doing this type of artwork. And from there, we had other people who come and learn from us, and that's how you can see them all over the country now. But it's a very unique type of arts that represent Belize. Because art is only a little piece of it. Yes, medicine, music, language, food. We have so much. We have lost a lot, but you know, we still have a lot more to make sure that it will continue with us. But at that time too, it was a very benefit for my family because my father was indebted at that time. He was wanting to improve his cattle farming, and he went to get a loan in the bank, and then he went to get all these hybridized cows or cattle, and then all of them died because I feel that there's a special way how to manage it, and he didn't know how to do it. He only was used to grow all those local cows, like cattle that didn't need much, only grass. So he was indebted, and then we helped him pay off his loan with this art because we were doing enough money for it. Yes. Yeah, so it was good for my family, for us. The way I ended up as a healer was not my choice. It was my uncle's choice. And you know, all of that time when he said I was going to take it over, I didn't mean what he was saying. Until one day, I was already married, I was here. And then I was not a healer. I had all my children. I was 34 at the time. And I remember he said too, he started his healing at 34 years. So at that time, I was having a dream in my house here. Yes, it was early, about 4 o'clock in the morning. And my dream wake me up because it's like real, it's like me and you talking. And he said, Mama, he said, get up, this is your time, I'm going to make, to do me the healing. That is what he says. And so that wake me up, and when I get up, I open my gate. I see my first patient there about 7 o'clock in the morning. And so a little later that same day, my sister called me from my village telling me my uncle died. He died about 6 o'clock that morning. I was having the dream at 4 o'clock.
You were having a dream.
So I didn't have any choice but to
You didn't have a choice.
continue his healing.
Pass that torch, right? That's powerful.
And you know, the Belizean style is that when they come and knock on your door, it's like you're supposed to see them. There's no like appointments, no nothing. You just have to see them. And sometimes they want to come in the night too, but in the night I feel so tired after the day of the work.
So when locals come to your door,
yes, I cannot say no because that is your mission, responsibility that you have. When people come, they don't really have to make an appointment. It's better you call because sometimes I go out too, and then the more you heal, the more you meet people, the more you learn. At first, I thought, oh my, why did he have to tell me to do his work? It's like, it's too much. It's like a heavy burden on you. I say, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And I keep asking that question, it's like, I am not sure, I don't want to do it, and so on. But you know that there's a lot of challenges that came and said, no, I know that this is what I have to do, I will have to do it. Now I accepted it after a long time.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So what will
Yes.
what you will do is that you're going to submerge in there. You wet yourself. We have a little calabash here.
I go all the
where
way under?
You can throw water on you. This calabash.
Yes.
Get some water and just throw it on you all the time. Wet everything.
Everything.
Yes, and after a while, like 10 minutes throwing water on you. Then I have some oil here. You get that oil with the salt, you just rub it all over your body too. And then you rinse only with the water again. But meanwhile, you do that, you will meditate, you will pray. You will also, ask, the Creator, whoever you believe in, that He should help you remove anything negative that you have, and so on. Yes, and then at the end you can use this towel to dry up. But it would be good if it will dry by itself. So when you finish, less clothes is better to continue to do the rest of the healing that we will be doing.
So I could just wrap in the towel?
Yes.
Okay, because I'll be nude. I didn't bring a swimsuit.
No problem.
Okay. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, thank you.
So
and then
you can submerge yourself for an hour or half an hour.
Okay.
The more the better.
The more the better?
How about an hour?
Okay. Okay.
So you should time yourself.
Okay.
In an hour, then you should be ready.
Okay. All right.
And then I will be ready to continue the healing.
Yes, ma'am. Walk back over there?
Yes.
Okay.
We will be doing the healing in the bigger palapa at the back. At the back. I will be
Okay.
somewhere.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Enjoy your bath.
Thank you.